Yo, what's going on, guys? RudyWadeTCG back at it again with another video, and today, so we're here with Arlo Neel. Kind of a meta discussion for Daytona, but I didn't really have a lot of time to set one up this time because I was kind of busy. But yeah, so we're just gonna have a quick little talk here about Daytona and some of the decks that are going into Daytona. So let's just talk about your top 5 decks for the event.
So you want me to put them in order, or?
Um, yeah, order them would probably be better.
Okay, so number 5, I like Celosaur. Number 4, Pikarom. Number 3, Zorg Seismitoad. Number 2, Archie's, and then number 1, Zorgarb.
All right. So you said Celsaur. Can you explain why that would be number 5 and run through any like matchups with that deck?
Yeah, of course. So like the top 3 decks that I listed, and like Zorg decks and Archie's, those matchups are very favored for Celosaur, and kind of that they can't one-shot it. That's the one thing that Celosaur is really good at doing. It's just not getting one shot and then healing all that damage, and then just being really annoying with its 50, a bunch of special conditions attacks, and then also being able to one-shot an Archie's Wailord just for like a big 3-prize knockout. So I feel like everyone's going to be bringing those type of decks just because they're the more commonly played decks. Like everyone knows how to play them. Everyone knows to play against them. They've been in the format for a very long time in this expanded format this year. So I feel like that would be a very popular pick.
Yeah. So with the Archie's matchup for Celosaur, a lot of the Archie's lists have been playing Kingdra, which can actually one-shot the Celosaur. So do you think that swings the matchup at all?
Yeah, I do feel like if Archie's can get out the Blastoise and the Kingdra, they can be a little in favor for Celosaur at that point. But of course, they also have to get that they have to get the Archie's combo twice, which is not it's not impossible to do, but it's pretty hard to do. So and also if you can get enough chain, if you can Guzma kill the Blastoise at any point before they can start loading up their Kingdra, that can be really detrimental to their Archie strategy at that point.
All right, and so for 4, you said Pikarom, right?
Yeah. So this deck always feels like you're kind of cheating and expanded because we have Max Elixir and stuff like Shaman in order to draw through your whole deck and try to get that turn 1 tag bowl. It's just always one of those very hyper aggressive decks that can just run over the board kind of in a similar fashion to Archie's, except you don't have to rely on getting your hand down to 0 and getting a stage 2 out as in Blastoise. So I feel like Pikarom is always just going to be one of those top picks and expanded just because of its raw power and being able to use Electro powers to hit any number that you may need to hit.
Yeah, so with that thought that they're like really a fast kind of aggressive deck, a lot of the lists in the past have been running Flash Energy. Do you think that's necessary anymore, or?
Yeah, I would still 100% play Flash Energy, just being able to remove that weakness of the fighting type Pokemon, which are seeing still a lot of play in expanded despite them not finishing that well. Lucario is still going to be a presence. I don't think it's that great, but people are still going to play it to try and counter Pikarom, as we saw in Toronto Regionals at the beginning of this expanded era. And yeah.
All right. So your number 4 was Toad Zoro, which is really weird. You know, the ban of Lusamine kind of affected it.
No, it's not the Milzoro.
Toad.
It's yeah, you're playing like Zork, Seismitoad, Acerola, and you're playing Laser Bank. So basically what the deck does is I know a lot of people are thinking of bringing this deck. It's kind of like you play Verbank City, Laser, you play like a normal Toad deck, except every single turn you can use Acerola because you have Zorks to try and find your cards. You're playing like 3 Acerola for versus Seeker, Pelpad, Dowsing Machine. You have like 11 or 12 total outs to use Acerola in a game. Basically against the Archie's matchup, you can use the Seismitoad with a Fighting Fury Belt, and they can never one-shot it. You just poke with them at a time with Toad and plus Laser Bank, and just rinse and repeat with the Acerola chains.
All right. Can you explain some of the matchups for that deck? Because it's kind of interesting going into this.
Yeah. I'm with testing a little bit. So against Archie's and Pikarom, like I said, they can't ever one-shot the Seismitoad, so you can just chain the Acerola plus Laser Bank type stuff, and you will eventually wear them down with their big type tag team Pokemon. Zoro matchup can be a little iffy because you do play a lot of item cards and like Hypnotoxic Laser versus Seeker and all the tools that you play. But if you can limit your item count and just like not play into like a Zorg knockout with Skyfield Choice Band on a Seismitoad, or even without Choice Band, then that matchup should be fine because they can never one-shot the Seismitoad either. And the Trevenant matchup should be fine just because you can just go singular Toad with a like an Acerola, just bench another Toad, Acerola. The only problem with Trevenant is their energy denial. but obviously they can't play that if you get the item lock going up. And yeah, I think those are like the main matchups you need to be worried about.
Yep. So number 2, you said Archies. Would you say with the Kingdra or without?
I would say with the Kingdra, just because Celasaur is getting hyped, you want to be able to have an answer, hopefully to be a popular deck into the format. And also Kingdra is not only just, it's not like completely useless in any other matchup. It's just like, it's kind of like Wailord, if it's harder to get set up. It hits for like big numbers too. But being able to like one-shot a Pikarom and then not being able to one-shot back because of its high HP count is going to be very good. And another reason why I just really like Archies is because like there's this one play on stream, like Azul's like big knife wipeout, just takes 6 prizes and turn out of absolutely nowhere. Archies just feels like one of those decks in Expanded that also feels like you're cheating because you get to attach a million energies a turn. That Powering Splash GX attack is one of the most powerful GX attacks in the game. Just being able to constantly make your opponent have outs to your pressure.
And speaking of Archies, what can you explain some of the unfavorable matches for Archies so that people are more aware of it going into the event?
Yeah, of course. So like Archies doesn't have like an outright auto loss because it can always play so many different variants of attackers. But stuff like if you don't get the turn on Archies against Trevenant, that can be a really hard matchup to beat because you can't use your item cards after the first turn because they can evolve into Forest Curse. So it'll be much harder to try and get your Archies out. And also the Zorgarb matchup, I felt like that was when I was playing Zorgarb at Greensboro. I think I faced against 3 total times, and I didn't drop a game against them because of the Trash Lance Garbodor attack, because I was playing 2 of them, I believe. And Archies has to play a lot of items to get set up, so you can just one-shot their big tag team GXs that they earned all these item cards to help set up.
Yeah, I had similar experiences where Trash Lance was one-shotting Wailords, and it was ridiculous, a 1 prize for 3 trade. So that I could see that as being unfavorable. And again, going into this event, you are sticking with Zorgarb as the number 1 deck, not afraid of anybody figuring out the counter to it at all.
Yeah. Zorgarb is just like one of those decks that is just going to be the most consistent and the most fair. Like back in the day, we saw like Hexmaniac, like Egg Spam all the time, like Puzzle Time, all this good stuff. Like that just made Zork completely broken. And I was on another discussion with Rahul, and I really liked how he said that Zorgarb feels more fair now. You have to play like with Garbodors and stuff to make it good. So just being able to go in hard with Zorg and then fall back on Garbodor just makes the deck so strong. And of course, just having ability lock Garbotoxin Garbodor just makes a lot of your possibly unfavored matchups favored, because you can just kind of lock them out of the game in order to complete their strategy.
Yeah, the Toxin one really makes a lot of unfavorable matchups become favorable just because they're in top deck mode to play the game. So you have a window to come back.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Short one once again. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.